Well, hey, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, and welcome to our unique strategies for getting out of debt in 2020. What a thing to be doing on January 1st, right? But what better time? Really, what better time than the first day of the new decade to be taking it seriously and coming up with a plan to get out of debt in 2020. I love it. So Jill and I are here to talk you through it. We're going to try to go fast. We know your time is valuable. We appreciate that you're here with us tonight. We're really excited about doing this with you, and we're going to walk you through a lot of steps quickly, but you can always contact us later if you have any questions. So here we go. Are you ready? Fasten your seatbelt. We're going to get started. So, first disclaimer, we are not accountants. We're not CPAs. We're not bookkeepers. We are not tax advisors. We are just people who have done a lot of our own research, a lot of our own learning, a lot of our own interviewing of accountants, a lot of our own reading of IRS regulation, but we're not accountants. So whatever you hear here, you need to go and check with your own tax advisor, your own legal advisor, and your own counsel. You know, go get your own advice from your advisor or an advisor, but use this information to ask good questions and get good information. So here we go. Welcome, Judy. The impact of debt on our lives. So perfect timing again. How many people put Christmas on a credit card? How many of you are on this call and coming up to Christmas, you know, you wanted to get everybody in your life the things that they wanted, right? So you put Christmas on a credit card. And now here's January and you're wondering, not only how are you going to pay for it, but, you know, you're looking at 18, 21% interest on your credit cards and thinking, gee, did I really need to buy that thing for that person or buy that thing for myself now that I'm going to pay the price? And so the impact of debt on our lives is pretty big, right? The stress that debt causes, what it does to our relationships, what it does to our marriages, right? Financial stress what it does to marriages, what it does to our self-esteem and our confidence, carrying a lot of debt, what it does to our health. Stress, especially financial stress, has a huge impact on your health. And so I want to share with you Christina's story. Christina's a friend of mine who I met a year ago, not even a year ago, actually just a few months ago. And she shared with me her story. She shared with me that she went to school for 7 years to be a physical therapist. And she studied hard and she got good grades, and now she has a job as a physical therapist. She has a PhD in physical therapy. And she also has $200,000 worth of student loan debt as a result. So she's been working as a physical therapist for 9 years, and she still has to have a part-time job. I'm going to take care of you, Judy, out. She still has to have a part-time job just to, because her job is just barely enough to make ends meet. And you know, what she shared with me is she spent the weekend after a surgery that she just had waiting tables at the restaurant to make extra money because she didn't have enough paid time off to cover her initial post-op recovery. She also shared with me, and with Facebook, you can see this is a Facebook post that she did, that she has to choose who she spends the holidays with. She can't see everybody over the holidays because she doesn't have enough PTO and she doesn't have enough money for multiple flights. So here she is, she did the deal, right? She worked really hard, she went to school, she got a good degree, she has a good job, and she still has a huge amount of debt, it causes a lot of stress in her life, and has to work a part-time job. So that's my friend Christina. This is my friend Shannon. I love Shannon. Shannon had a great job also as a radio broadcaster. And Shannon's amazing. She's one of the sweetest people that you'll ever meet. She had her son Nathan. He's her superhero, she says. And she was not able to go back to work because Nathan requires a full-time caregiver. He was born without one leg. And not only does he require a full-time caregiver and a mom who has enough strength and is healthy enough, right, to actually be able to lift him and carry him around, which is actually why she ended up starting to use the products we'll talk about later in the first place, because she needed to be strong enough for her son to be what he needed her to be. But she can't work outside the home. And she didn't have any additional income, and insurance has a limit to how much they'll pay for prosthetic limbs. So here's Shannon, beautiful Shannon, with her beautiful son who needed a solution. And then there's my friend Jill, who's on the call. Jill, do you want to share your story with everybody?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. You know, I was listening to Christina and Shannon's stories, and I've heard them before. And one's a PhD, one was a professional broadcaster. I'm a COO of a nonprofit. And you have to think we're responsible people. We have done everything right. We've gone to school, we've gotten careers. And despite the best intentions and responsible people who plan ahead, we can experience unplanned events, and debt piles up, or you don't have enough money to make ends meet. Anything can happen to anybody. And for me, it was a surprise divorce after 18 years of marriage and going from 2 incomes to 1. And, you know, I wanted to maintain the standard of living for my child. And with divorce, if you've been through this, you lose half your retirement, you lose half the income that's holding up your household, and there's a lot of unknowns, and debt does pile up. And the strategies we're going to share with you tonight, I've helped both build a secondary income and figure out how to climb out of this debt. And it's really been a lifesaver for me.
Awesome, Jill. Thanks for sharing your story. And again, the impact of debt is huge, but look at what just an extra $500 a month can do. So an extra $500 a month using one of the 2 strategies that we're going to propose tonight, or using both strategies together even better, actually could save. There's a statistic out there that says an extra $500 a month could actually save 50% of marriages that end in divorce. It actually could save 88% of foreclosures on homes. And an extra $500 a month could actually pay off 57% of the average American's debt. So here we are, 78% of workers are out there living paycheck to paycheck. Where's that extra $500 a month going to come from? So today, you're going to learn a two-pronged approach with unique strategies to A, be able to bring home more of your paycheck, B, be able to make everyday purchases, things that you're already spending money on anyway, with pre-tax dollars, and C, generate a generous tax refund to help you pay off chunks of your debt. And if you're also interested in creating more, you can create a residual income stream on top of that. So change your financial blueprint in 2020. I mean, it's not only a new year, it's a new decade. So do you have a goal? Do you have a plan? Do you have an action item list for how you're going to do it? Because I know a lot of you think, okay, this is the year I'm going to get out of debt. This is the year I'm going to make something happen. But do you have a plan? A really legitimate plan? Because we do. We really do. What if in 2020 you could pay off all your credit cards? What if in 2020 you actually could have a plan to fund your kids' college with pre-tax dollars? And what if in 2020 you could make money while you're sleeping? What? Seriously? And what if in 2020 you could create an additional $6,000 in disposable income? That's $500 a month, right? $6,000. What if you set in motion a 3 to 5 year plan? This year, you set in motion a 3 to 5 year plan to retire from your job, pay off all your credit cards, maybe fully fund your retirement, possibly work part-time for a full-time income, maybe get home to your kids, maybe retire your spouse, maybe buy that beach house that you've always wanted. I mean, what if you can set in motion a 3 to 5 year plan? So I'm Dawn Cermak. I am one of your hosts tonight, and I have been an entrepreneur for 30 years. I am essentially unhireable at this point. I'm boss phobic and essentially unhireable. So what I do has to work, right? And I've run big companies, I've run small companies. And now what I've chosen to do is run my own virtual online home-based business because it gives me the time freedom and the financial freedom, but the time freedom to be able to do the things that I love to do. And this is my friend Jill. You met her earlier. She is a COO of a healthcare nonprofit. She's awesome. She's so great to work with. We team up together and she's amazing. And she was able to, through using these unique strategies that we're sharing after the surprise divorce that she told you about, she was actually able to stay in her family home and keep that place for her daughter because of and implementing the strategies that we're sharing right now. So we talked earlier about your dreams, what they might be. You know, maybe it's owning a beach house, maybe it's retiring early, you know, all of the what ifs, what if you could. So there it is out there, the Emerald City. That reminds me of the Emerald City. And here's this bridge. Well, how do you build that bridge? That's what we're talking about tonight, how you build that bridge. It's a two-pronged approach. There's two different things you can do. You can do them separately, but when you do them together, they're very powerful. Strategy number one is how to bring home more of your paycheck. And so I don't know if you're aware, but there are two tax systems in the United States. There is a tax system for W-2 and 1099 employees, right? They're subject to the same tax system. And there's a tax system for home-based business owners. Now, the new tax code in 2018 took away a lot of deductions that were available to W-2 employees. But they didn't take away those same deductions for home-based business owners. And so this is why you'll hear that it's highly recommended that you have a home-based business. We're going to get into that later, why you want to be able to access those tax benefits. So how do taxes impact your take-home pay? I mean, you all know that you make this gross income, you know what you make in salary, but have you ever really looked at your net effective tax burden? Because you know you pay federal taxes, you know you pay state taxes, you know you pay FICA, you know you pay local taxes too, right? So, but in your paycheck, that net amount that you receive is vastly different from your gross pay for most people. And we're not talking about, medical insurance deductions or your 401ks. We're just talking about the basic taxes. For most people, that looks like around 30%. And that's the number we use. It's pretty conservative, but that's the number we use going forward in this presentation. And so how your tax deductions impact your take-home pay, obviously they all come off the top and then you get to work with what's left. But tax deductions, right? Legitimate expenses, legitimate business expenses reduce what the IRS considers to be your taxable income. And so if your taxable income is reduced, the taxes you pay are reduced, and you get to bring home more of your paycheck. And the important thing to understand, what a lot of people get confused about with the home-based business and tax deductions is the IRS understands that it takes a while to get a business up and running. They understand that in the first few years of running your business, you're going to take a loss. They understand that there are startup costs that are essential to starting your own home-based business. And so if in fact in the first few years you generate a loss with legitimate business expenses, which we'll talk about later, that's actually going to reduce your income in your W-2 job, allowing you to bring home more of your paycheck. So hopefully that makes sense. If any of this doesn't make sense, just jot down your notes and we'll be available later to answer your questions. So strategy number two is what works for us, right? What worked for Jill and I. We had this aha moment, right? Which was we can take advantage of all of these tax benefits by owning our own home-based business and at the same time build real wealth, not only for ourselves, but for our families. That's one of the incredible things about the company that we've chosen to partner with, and we'll share that with you later, that from our hard work, we're actually able to help support our families. We can make money while we sleep. It's real. I was not kidding. It's a real thing. When you wake up in the morning, you say, "Oh, look, I made $300 last night." Like, that's pretty awesome. right? And it really happens. It really happens in our business. And we can create significant income and significant tax benefits without spending significant time. So you can have a full-time job and still do what we do. You can do this in the pockets of your time. You can create something with just a little bit of extra time every week that could have significant benefit to you when it comes to time to file your taxes, right? So let the numbers speak for themselves. These are just some of the deductions that are available to people who own their own home-based businesses. I'm not going to go through them. You're familiar with some of them. I think if you've heard people say, oh, you know, I get to write off when I buy a new computer, I write it off because it's for my business. Or, you know, I had to buy a new printer for my business, so I was able to write that off. Or, you know, I took a trip to Nashville / London / whatever it is, and it was a business expense, so I got to write it off. And those write-offs can really add up. I mean, look, this was just gave you some ideas for things that some businesses can write off. It's pretty significant. And none of this includes the tax benefits, the home office expense, because that's a whole different animal, and we tackle that in a different webinar. And so look at the magic of pre-tax dollars. This is me, this is mine. I just bought this. Excuse me, I bought a Mac Daddy MacBook Pro. I've never owned a Mac before, but I did buy it for my business because there are reasons, for business reasons, a lot to do with photos and images and things like that. And it's really expensive. I usually buy laptops for $500. This was really expensive. So between the Mac Daddy MacBook Pro and my iPhone 11, because my other iPhone was just at the end of its life expectancy, these two items together were $3,800. That's what I paid at the Apple Store, $3,800. And I wasn't the only one in there buying MacBook Pros and iPhone 11s, I can assure you. And I can also assure you that a lot of the people that were doing that were not people that owned their own home-based businesses. So for me, because these are a business expense, I use them for my business, that $3,800, I earned $3,800 and I spent $3,800 because this is a business write-off for me. Now for you, excuse me, for most of you watching this, if you don't have your own home-based business, then using that 30% that we talked about earlier, you would have to earn $5,500 in order to have $3,800 of disposable income to be able to buy these items. Excuse me. That's a really, really, really big difference, isn't it? Earning $3,800 or earning $5,500? So think about that, and then think about this. This is one of my favorite parts of this call. So do you love spending time with your family? Because I do. I love spending time with my family. If anybody knows me, I'm the oldest of 6 kids. We get together all the time. And now, though, my kids are older. So I have a son that lives in Seattle. I have two kids that live in Chicago. And I love to see them. And I did just visit them over the holidays. How many of you visited family over the holidays? I visited my kids in Chicago for Thanksgiving. Think about this, because this is true for me. What if the cost of visiting your kids was tax deductible? What if? So from Baltimore to Chicago is 1,400 miles round trip, right? And the 2020 IRS mileage reimbursement rate is 57.5 cents a mile. Now, last year it was 58.5 cents a mile. So I know that my trip to Chicago, 1,400 miles round trip, at 58.5 cents a mile is $816. So, and why am I able to deduct the cost of visiting my kids? Well, because they're part of my business. And so I make sure that when I go to visit them, we conduct business. We talk about the products. I bring them samples. We talk, maybe they host a sip and sample when I'm there, or they host an event and then they invite people. I make sure that we talk about business so that my trip is a legitimate business expense. So I go to visit my family and it's a write-off. I mean, crazy, right? And so is it starting to sink in? Like, the money you're saving in taxes and not paying to the IRS can be used to pay off debt, increase savings for retirement and college, lessen your financial burden, pay for that family vacation, pay for that trip to Disney that you've been wanting to take, pay for that trip to Paris you've been wanting to take. Like, let's make the money that you earn go further, and let's make it work for you instead of putting it in somebody else's pocket. Right? So I think that I've made a very strong case that being a home-based business owner is a very clear choice, I think. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. But so now you might be thinking, because I know this is how I felt in the beginning, and this is how a lot of people feel, you might be thinking, oh, I would never want to own my own home-based business. It's really complicated, and I don't know anything about S corporations or sole proprietorships or LLCs. I don't know the first thing about incorporating. Do I need a lawyer for that? Do I have to pay a franchise fee? I don't have any money in savings, so I couldn't start a business, and I don't have anything that I'm an expert in. I wouldn't even know the first thing to do. I mean, does the thought of starting your own business, does it paralyze you? Does it completely freak you out? Because it's true for most people, it does. And we have a solution. We have a solution. It's a business in a box. It's so simple. And you don't need to empty your savings account to get started. And you don't need to invest in tons of inventory, and you don't need to be at shipping stuff and billing stuff, and you don't need employees and worrying about sales tax, and you don't have to worry about advertising, and you have a whole team of people to guide and mentor you. So, Jill, do you want to tell them why we chose this solution, why we chose Isagenix?
Dawn, I'd love to, because I know we're both very passionate about what we do and who we've partnered with. And I think Dawn and I, if I say so myself, we're two smart cookies. We had big careers. We still have big careers. And we have professional and personal reputations on the line when we embarked on researching a home-based business. And we do our due diligence. We sort of put everything through the ringer, asked a lot of questions, and talked to a lot of people. And I have to say, we landed on Isagenix because first and foremost, it's an ethical company. There's no operational debt from the financial side. And the products they create, it's health and wellness products, have no compromised quality. It's backed by nutrition science. They have a scientific review panel. It is something that I felt like I could put my name and reputation behind and feel proud and be very happy to share it, as well as run it as my business. So that was really key to the choice, is looking at the company itself, the products it produces, and feeling good about that. And I think, as Dawn said, our startup cost is around $200 to have your own business. Start maybe more. This is just $200 to start up. And over time, you spend about $160 a month for monthly expenses. And at the end of the year, say you spend about $2,000, we sort of made the point that you could probably get back in taxes, the average person, $4,000 to $8,000 in tax deductions. It's a virtual business. You can conduct it from anywhere, even from your cell phone. I think Dawn said there's no inventory, no distribution. You're not doing the operations. You're not doing the customer service beyond just helping the people you build the business. It can be worked in the spare hours of your day. That's what I do. I have a full-time job, and I do my Isagenix business. And I think key to this is also the monthly expense you're going to be spending to keep your business operational is basically redirecting your expenses to things you already buy. If you buy wellness products, if you buy weight loss products, skincare, we have 110 products. You're basically taking the money you're already spending at Target, the grocery store, or online, and you are spending it in your own store and getting paid for it. So it's really a win-win. Dawn and I know how it qualifies for a tax deduction as a home-based business, and we help our team with that angle. And we have a very duplicatable system to help you get started. You just invite people to this webinar, and we teach them everything they need to know.
So Jill just went over this, the cost to receive tax relief with an isogenics business and start making income. So the cost is $160 a month, or $160. The first month, it's about $200. And then you're looking at about $160 a month. Again, that money you're already spending. You're already spending at Costco, at GNC, at Vitamin Cover, at online, getting a lot of these products, getting protein shakes, getting meal bars, getting vitamins and supplements, getting skincare products, getting performance supplements, buying coffee. I mean, we have 120 different products, and you're really just taking your money that you're already spending it at your own store, getting a rebate, and then showing others how to do the same thing by bringing them to this webinar. You don't have to become a nutritional expert. You don't have to know it. You really don't. If you don't choose to, you don't have to know anything about it at all. You just follow our system. We make it so easy for you. So, are you ready to launch your home-based business? Like, how could you say no at this point? I mean, how could you possibly? This is a no-brainer. It's so simple. It's so simple. All you have to do to do the business, is get people to this presentation. And these are people who want to pay down their debt, could benefit from bringing home more of their paycheck. Like, who do you know who would like to pay down their debt? Who do you know who wants to get home to their kids or be able to retire early? Who do you know who might like the idea of creating multiple income streams or having a backup plan, especially in the DC area where, you know, we're subject to furloughs. Who knows when the next furlough is around the corner? Who do you know who is desperate to take control of their time and their life? Those are the people who would really benefit from coming to this webinar. And so you come to this webinar, you join our team, and what does that get you? Why would you want to join with us? Well, you're going to get help with recruiting. I know that's like the dirty word, right? And everybody's like, oh, I would never want to do that business because I don't want to have to harass my family and friends. Well, we don't harass anybody, honestly. I mean, if you're on this call, you saw a post and you're like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe let me hop on and learn more. It's that easy. This is information that people want. This is information that will impact their quality of life. So you get help with recruiting. You get ongoing one-on-one support and training. You get access to tax saving strategies because believe me, you've heard nothing. This is the tip of the iceberg. Honestly, there are so many tax saving strategies out there for home-based business owners, and we can help you wrap your head around them so that when you do go to talk to your own tax advisor, you're asking the right questions or you're finding the right tax advisor, somebody who has experience with home-based business tax accounting. And we also give you access to our proprietary system. And so teamwork makes the dream work. You want to be on the right team. You want to be with the right company. You want to be with the right compensation plan. And I'll tell you why in just 1 minute. Because if you join our team, you're going to learn how your family members can get paid on your efforts. Remember, I referred to that earlier. It's a real thing. How you can fund your kids' college accounts with pre-tax dollars. I mean, wait till you hear that one. That's actually what got me started with this. When I heard the whole strategy about, it's actually your business hires your kids. And we'll get into that in another webinar. It's crazy. Fund your college accounts with pre-tax dollars. How to leverage legitimate home office expenses. And look at this, look at down below. This is real stuff, right? How to pay for everyday expenses like trips to the salon. We show you how that could be a legitimate expense. We show you how your house cleaners could be a legitimate expense. We show you how lunch with a friend could be a legitimate tax write-off. Like all of these things we teach in the trainings that we do for our team. And then we also show you how you can create substantial additional income for yourself and your family. So we'll show you how. It's real. You don't have to learn any of this yourself. So if not this, then what? And if not now, then when? Because there is no better time. I mean, this is, again, first year, the first day of the new year, the first day of a new decade. Why not take action to change your financial blueprint? Not just for yourself, but for your family. Right? And there's an extra reason why you would take action now. Because the way that our business works, right, is crazy. So choose your pack tonight and place your order. We'll tell you how in a minute, because your order is going to be placed in the order in which it's received. And why is that important? It's important because you will be eligible to get credit for every single order that gets placed after yours. So if you're the first one to take action and you're the first one to text your pack in, your order's going to go in first, right? And then anybody else that comes along after this in not just on this call, but the next call that we're doing, they're going to come in under you, and you're going to be eligible to get paid on everything that they buy, really and truly. And so if you're ready to get started, if you're ready to take advantage of everything that we've talked about tonight, look at these packs. I should have told you earlier, take a screenshot, take a picture. Now, if you registered for the webinar, you should get an email at 8:45 laying out all of this information for you again. But if you already know that losing weight is one of your goals, then that's the easy answer. Get pack number 1. So text pack number 1, 301-580-2607. That's Jill's number. She was just on the call earlier. You saw her. She's manning the phones. And just text the pack number that you want, that you're interested in. And then she'll send you back a cart. She'll send you back a link so that you can get registered and you can get your home-based business up and running. Now, these prices, you'll see them there. The prices don't include shipping and tax. Because it's variable in depending on your location. But seriously, I mean, I'm not kidding you. It's not a made-up thing. The order that the orders come in is a big deal. It makes a difference. And so, Easy Instant Weight Loss Pack, that's pack number 1. Just text it to Jill. Let her know that that's what you want, and she's going to text you back a link that you can it's already preloaded with that pack, and you can enroll. Again, either take a picture of this screen, do a screenshot, or keep your fingers crossed that technology is on our side tonight and you actually get the email. I'd take a picture if I were you, just to be on the safe side. And enroll today to launch your own home-based business. You're gonna get training, support, you'll get some tax guidance, we'll tell you the questions to ask your tax advisor. We're not tax advisors. Again, I should have disclaimed it 5 more times in this call. We are not tax advisors. We're not CPA. We are just some gals who have done their homework and found out some very interesting things. And so we really make it as easy as sending a text. Text your pack number to 301-580-2607, and we'll send you a link to get started. So sign up now to be able to take 100% of the tax benefits of owning your own home-based business in 2020. I mean, think about it. Don't you want a tax shelter like all the rich and famous people have, right? Why shouldn't you have one too? Why shouldn't you have an entrepreneurial opportunity? Make a decision today that your future self will thank you for. Thanks everybody so much for getting on the call. We really appreciate you taking your time tonight. Hopefully you heard a thing or two that surprised you, and hopefully you're taking action right now because Jill's waiting for your text. See you.